Good afternoon and welcome to the November 24th, 2025 meeting of the Westport Board of Health, which I'm calling to order. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded, and please join me in.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move right into the Director's written report. Any questions on that?
No, Madam Chair.
No, I'm good with that.
Matt, your update.
So in Massachusetts, the respiratory illness season typically runs during the fall and winter months, generally from July through June, with peak activity for common viruses like COVID-19, the flu, and RSV occurring between December and February. Activity for COVID-19 and flu increased around Halloween, with more significant surge in the weeks to follow Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's holidays. Just some preventative measures that people can take are getting vaccinated against COVID-19, flu, and RSV if eligible is one of the best ways to prevent serious illness. Hygiene, frequent hand washing, and covering coughs and sneezes are important to prevent germ spread. Staying home. If you have symptoms of respiratory illness, it is recommended to stay home to prevent the spread to others. And masking. Consider wearing a mask in crowded indoor spaces, especially if you or someone you are around is at higher risk for severe disease. As of November 19th, we administered 125 flu vaccinations, and we still have a small supply of vaccines still available. If interested in getting vaccinated against the flu, please contact our public health nurse at 508-636-1030.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to director-approved plans.
Okay, we have a one-bedroom repair on a 14,030 square foot lot on 219X Tickle Road for Janine Paradis. This has been through Concom. It is to replace a cesspool, and it's going to require a one-bedroom deed restriction. We have a four-bedroom new construction on a 121,805 square foot lot on Marcotte Drive for BPH Holdings. This one has been through Concom. We have a four-bedroom repair on a 6,790 square foot lot on 4 Senecal Street for Michael Goes, and this one's going to utilize a stone bed. It has been through Concom and it is to replace a cesspool. It will also require a four-bedroom deed restriction.
4 bedrooms at 6,800 square.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And they fit no well setbacks or any problems?
No, they met all the setbacks.
Jeez, that's
amazing.
Creative
little
architecture.
jiu-jitsu there. Like, put that in. Okay. Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll take a motion.
Okay, so I move that we endorse the director-approved plans for 219X Tickle Road with a one-bedroom deed restriction. Marcotte Drive, which is new construction, and 4 Senecal Street with a 4-bedroom deed restriction.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve those plans. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, we can move on to minutes. We have the 11/3 working meeting minutes. The special meeting on November 3rd. Any questions or comments about that?
I have none.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so I move that we approve the minutes for November 3rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Minutes for November 10th, our last regular meeting.
I had no issues with that either, no changes.
Me neither.
Okay, so I move that we approve the minutes for November 10th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank you. Okay, other business, we have some proposed, fee schedule revisions. We'll start with the, Board of Health. Let's see. I'm gonna ask, these would be, this has been 3 years since they've been reviewed. A lot has happened in 3 years, so, Matt, why don't you, walk us through them?
Sure, so, well, the first one is the body
I'm
audit.
sorry, can I interrupt? Just put this in the context of a reminder that at our working meeting that we had on the 3rd, we were talking about workload and strategies for managing with the limited staff we have. And we had looked at, reducing, eliminating some permits that bring in a lot of revenue, but are also a high workload. These are all activities here that we are mandated to do, so we can't eliminate them in terms of workflow management. But we need to look at ways to support our request for additional staff, and these fees have not been increased in 3 years, so just that little context to start with.
So I just want to say that, we took the opportunity not only to, look at what fees would make sense to increase, but to eliminate some of the categories and kind of regroup them into one. We had a lot of categories for, the same type of permit, so we kind of scaled it back into one to make it less confusing on the people and the staff. But, do you want me to go through each one, or do you want to is there anybody just want to just ask if there's any questions specifically?
I think we should go through each one because this is a public
Okay.
forum for discussion.
So body art establishment plan review, we went up from 125 to 175. Kind of did a little research, some of the area towns, and that's what we landed on. But I will say, for new establishments, the plan review is pretty intensive and there's a lot to it. The permit, we went up $25 for the permit itself. Again, it's all tied together. There's a lot to a body art inspection and plan review process. Jumping down to food service, we went down to food service permit establishment, went up from 100 to 150. Then we kind of restructured the seating for food service permit establishment based on the number of seats. We kind of redesigned the number of seats. So 0 to 20 seats is one from, we're proposing 200 to 250, 21 to 50 seats, 250 to 300, 51 to 100 seats, 300 to 375, and food service permit establishment permit greater than 100 seats, $450. We eliminated the food service permit establishment seasonal, food permit service permit temporary, 14 days or less, food service permit temporary, seasonal, weekly event, same place, less than 6 months, and we kind of categorized all that into temporary food service, same location, on-site food service, mobile and retail, ice cream prepackaged, 1 to 14 days, and it's $100 for the first day and $25 for each additional day per day. Food service permit, farmers market, we just eliminated that category because it kind of falls into the one above. Bakery permit, 100 to 125. Mobile unit permit annual, 175 to 300. Nothing on the nonprofits, nothing on catering. Oh, catering we went from 100 to 125. Bottled water permit, 20 to 35. Milk pasteurization permit, 100 to 125. Residential kitchen permit, 150 to 200. Bed and breakfast food service permit, residential kitchen, 150 to 200. And frozen dessert manufacturer permit, 50 to 75. Then on the retail food, which is all driven by square footage of the retail food establishment. So 0 to 1,000 square feet, 125 to 150. Retail food establishment permit, 1,001 to 5,000 square feet, 200 to 300. Retail food establishment permit, 5,001 to 10,000 square feet, 3 to 400. Retail food establishment permit, 10,001 to 20,000 square feet, 400 to 550. Retail food establishment, 20,001 square feet to 55,000 square feet, 1,200. Retail food establishment, 55,001 square feet or greater, you just add 35 cents per square foot on the category above. Farmers market excluding mobile in a retail setting this is per season now, this isn't per event, $75. And retail food permit farmers market, the growers only, would be $25 per season. Title V septic installers test. This is a new category. We administer the test, and it's staff time to do so. It's $100. Septic installer retest, $75. Septic installer application and permit, $250. And septic hauler permit, $200 to $300. And then the DSCP for commercial, $250 to $300. And that's for repair or alterations and new construction on commercial, $300 to $350. Residential repair, $200 to $225. And then residential new construction, $250 to $275. Application for minor repair or connection, example, connect a bathroom to an SAS from a workshop, something minor like that, $75. That's a new category. And that's it there. Title V inspection report review and filing fee. So before we were just charging a filing fee and reviewing them. And it takes a good amount of time to review a Title V inspection report, to go through it, so 25 to 75. Thank you. Repeat inspection for soil evaluation, bottom or cover, 100 to 150 per visit. Water table determination, we left that the same. Approvals requiring deed restrictions, $75. This takes a whole lot of time. Nancy is the one that draws this up for the people, and they come pick them up. It just takes a long time to do. Swimming pool above ground residential, verified Title V setback distance by the health agent, 75 to 100, and in-ground, 75 to 100. Application and permit for installation of a new well, either whether it's potable, agricultural, or irrigation, 100 to 225. Application and permit for installation of well replacement, 75 to 125. Permit swimming pool purpose and special purpose pools, 200 to 300. Motel, hotel inns, 200 to 275. Recreational camp for children, 200 to 300. Tobacco permit, 200 to 300. And piggery permit, less than 5 pigs, 25 to 50. And I think the funeral director's license might be a typo. I think we were going to leave it the same. So I'll have to just.
Say that was quite a jump.
Yeah, I may have to double check on that one.
We'll hold on that one then.
Okay.
Okay, discussion.
So I spoke with Matt earlier. I struggle with sort of percentage of increase on some of the items, where some are 50% increase, some are 25% increase. And I mean, he explained to me the workload. We're trying to respond to how much effort and workload that it puts on the staff to carry out the evaluations and the monitoring. So I struggled with the percentage on some of them. Some of them were quite a jump in percentage of cost or increase. My first one that I reacted to, even though it's not a huge percentage, was bakery. Because I think of the bakery, the one bakery in town, and then he said there's two, but it's only $25 increase, but I still think of some of the small businesses might be greatly impacted by some of the larger increases, so.
I appreciate your sensitivity to that. I think one of the balancing acts we have here is with a low-tax town, there is a very streamlined budget, and so generally the town makes it up in fees. The harbor master fees all went up. Fees go up. But I think one of the other things that Matt did, that we talked about, is he looked also at neighboring towns and sort of, are we in line? And we're on the low end, and we don't have a generous town budget either. So this is part of the strategy for supporting. If we can bring in increased revenue, we have maybe a better ability to sway both residents and the finance committee and the select board to approve a part-time clerk, which we desperately need, whether these fees go up or not. So this gives us, I think, a stronger position. But I do think, and Matt and Joe spent a lot of time trying to streamline, eliminating some categories and really think through, how does this compare to other communities? How does this reflect the workload, as you indicated? We're squeezed. I know, another $25 is not fun, but these fees have not been touched in 3 years, so it's been it's been losing ground relative to the actual cost of what it costs us in staff time and effort. We just are pretty squeezed. So I do support the increases. I understand that the percentages, but you don't want to go up, $5.75 or something it just.
But I look at some are 35%, something like that, an increase.
Well, if there are some specific ones you want to propose a different amount, and I'll let Phil weigh in where he, because he falls on this as well. Let me turn first to Phil, and then if you have specific suggestions.
Well, I agree with both of you in the sense that when I looked at purely at the percentage of it, I hadn't really thought about the 3 years, but if I was just thinking of it from 1 year to the next, it was on a percentage-wise, a large jump. But then when I looked at the kind of establishments that were involved in this, it seemed very absorbable in a way. It was like, well, how many meals would it take for this person to have to make to cover the cost? And it seemed like, because prices had been rising, and not necessarily that these businesses are making that their permits that their profits rather have risen substantially. I think they're just responding generally to what we're all experiencing. But I think also part of it is that when people need their permits, they really need them, and it does require effort. I think that it somewhat turns around to, if we really want to give or be able to give people like prompt response to, I need my permit, not to say, well, our workload is such, that we can't, you have to wait 2 weeks for us to get around to this or that. you know, rather than saying, yeah, we have enough staff to give you the permit when you need it. And so I think in the broader sense, assuming that that works, you know, that we're able to, you know, translate these additional fees and to be able to continue to maintain the level of service that, you know, people expect from their tax dollars in a way, but though you can't deliver if you don't have the personnel to deliver it, that maybe this is a, you know, a step in the you know, in the right direction. And I think a 3-year hiatus from any increase is, you know, it's not unreasonable to come up with, you know, the numbers. And I don't think the bigger fees have had the larger percentage increases. I don't,
Well, there is
you know,
one.
that is someone who, like, so let's say the food establishment, you know, permit went, you know, from $100 to $150. So you could say that's a 50% increase, but it's still only $50. I
But
guess
the
it is.
mobile food unit permit.
I'm just jumping one that just happened to be in front of me.
Yeah, the one
You
I'm
know.
looking at is it goes from $175 to $300.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's under food service.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah. Oh, yeah, right, right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's when you're concerned about,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
$125. It's $175 now, but we're going up an additional
Mhm.
$125. And I think that's quite a percentage increase. I can understand us, you know, doing something like the $25 on 100, but I don't understand it. So I want to understand it, why we would go up that much on that particular item.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm gonna ask you to respond because you're,
Everything that, when, you know, our research with other towns and, you know, then we took a good, you know, a good solid month and a half to do all this research and sit down and crunch numbers and time. You know, a lot of it has to do with how much time does it take Joe, for instance, to go out and do a mobile truck inspection? You know, then you're gonna take into consideration the application process. Well, how much time is it taking Pat and Nancy to process these applications? How much back and forth? Mobiles can be very problematic. There's multiple levels of different things. There's plan reviews, there's making sure they get fire department inspections, and making sure that they have a commissary, and there's all kinds of things that go along with it. So while we did go up $125, we're still on the lower end of neighboring towns.
What would say, you know, a neighboring town charge?
I want to say, I don't have the other fee schedules in front of me, but one of the other neighboring towns was, you know, 400. One of the neighboring cities was 400. So they were up there. They were up quite a bit.
Okay, well, I am not playing devil's advocate, but certainly I see it, and I want to understand where the thinking is to go and increase these fees. And so we are still, just like in taxes, lower than other towns. And we've worked to keep the costs lower, but now demand is really driving, is one of the things that's driving the increase, is the demand on our time and energy and resources, which we don't have enough of now.
Right. And also, another aspect of this is regulations. Some of them, like the recreational camps and swimming pools and all these things, they change and they become more comprehensive, which requires more time and effort and paperwork on our part. So, you know, what do they call those? Unfunded mandates. We have to compensate for that.
Well, again, just to reiterate, I think the fact that, and maybe this is part of the reason, the fact is that they haven't been increased for 3 years. And so,
more of a shock to the system.
yeah, so it may be a shock, but I think that is part of why the jump had to be so much, because we just left it alone for that period of time.
I just want to say that Nancy and Pat, work very hard to get everything processed in a timely manner, but it's not always possible. And they can only do, so much. And, I see, because I help and I get involved, and how much they do and how many hours they put in, how hard that they work. And just with it, the amount of work that we have and everything that's changing, and it's just, we need to, something has to give here where we can get either some extra help to get things done, but, we're behind, and it's not because of lack of effort, it's just because of simply there's just not enough time in the day.
Okay, so Donna, you had that concern. Are there any other specific fees that you?
No, I was just, when I looked at it, I was thinking of fairness, but it's also, and I hear clearly from Matt, it's also the amount of time that we have to spend on certain items or certain areas like the mobile units and some of the other oversight that we have to provide, that increases the permit fee.
So this was an opportunity both to align sort of the fee schedule with the workload, and also to bring it up to sort of current comparability. So are you okay with
Yes,
that?
yes.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure that we had a discussion about it and didn't not consider it.
Okay.
Because I do think of the smaller businesses that would be affected, but I understand that in the bakery, an increase of $25 is not exorbitant, but some of these other ones are a little bit higher, and so that was some of my concern, was what's the fairness in what we're doing and the rationale behind it, and so we talked about that.
Okay.
So I'm okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? And I think the proposed effective date is January 1st, 2026. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So I would entertain a motion to adopt revised Board of Health fee schedule effective January 1st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the new fee schedule. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous, thank you. Okay, it is 4:30, so we will hold off on the other business. Oh no, wait a minute, yeah, 4:30 is Mr. Potter.
Mr. Potter.
Good evening, Mr. Potter. It was a pleasure to see your shining face here.
Oh, that sounds like a trap.
Well, I noticed you were able to move the system.
This might make it smaller.
Well, what I did is I moved the well, and fastened the system up and shoved it down.
We just had a 4-bedroom repair on a 6,900 square foot lot with no setback problem. That's pretty amazing, huh?
That's amazing. Use the bottom of sand filter or something?
I have to look at it. I don't remember. It's don't know.
Stone bed, isn't it?
I got to look at the plan.
Anyways, sorry, I'm
That's
distracted
perfectly okay.
from your reason for being here. So you require just a soil sieve analysis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Approval. Okay. Anything else you want to say? I've jumped back at you
No,
all.
no,
I
no.
apologize.
Silence is good.
Okay. Matt, any problems with the sieve analysis and all set?
No, everything's good.
Okay.
So I move that we approve the plan for 1636 Drift Road, plan dated revised 11/13/25, with a variance of a sieve analysis and the following conditions. Do we need the 2-bedroom deed restriction?
A 1-bedroom deed restriction.
Is it a one? Okay. 1-bedroom deed restriction and hold harmless.
The correction is 1636 Bellevue.
Ah.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the project at 1636 W Drift Road with those conditions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank
The
you,
only
Mr.
thing I'd
Potter.
like to say is the whole thing that kicked this in was that he needs a well. And I don't know what the nitrate level is. All I'm saying is, I just like to get the permit to drill the well first, before the system goes in.
Yeah, we usually just have, just in case the well's not good, where you put it, just fill out a slip thing, yeah,
If the nitrates are high, then I've got to replace this with a D-nitro.
Yeah.
It's simple.
okay,
But I just want to get permission to let them drill the well.
fine.
Okay.
That's all. I'll file up the paperwork necessary, but let them drill the well and get that.
Okay. And on another topic, just,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher had reached out, and I'm just checking if he
Can
all
I
set.
get your email address?
Sure.
Okay, I want to, the selectmen, I want them to contact you if necessary.
Oh, okay. Tanya, T-A-N-J-A,
Yeah.
.Ryden, R-Y-D-E-N, @gmail.com.
At Gmail?
But you have the approval letter from DEP, right? And our approval?
Nancy sent me that, your approval letter, their approval letter,
Okay.
and then I've got a copy of the plan on file.
Okay.
in, PDF, and I want to send that all to them with a letter from me explaining what's going on.
Yeah.
But if they have any questions, I'm going to have Jim Hyman or the letter call you. Email you.
Okay, that's fine. I've done a lot of research, but I'm not an expert.
Well,
But-
you know the rules that the approved advisor, if they have any questions, they can just come get on.
Yeah, okay.
These are water health issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I
Okay?
appreciate that. And then you know CS recorded at the registry, right?
Yeah, let's get the permit first.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
sir. Man, adios.
Thanks, Lynn.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we are going to, just, a note that the 440 variance hearing, has to be continued. Can I do that now?
It's not gonna be continued, it just got rescheduled.
Okay.
And so, because they haven't sent out a butter notification,
Okay,
so they're gonna,
So that will
yeah.
be rescheduled, based on whenever they do their abutter notification. Okay, so that is not on the agenda for now, so we'll go back to the transfer station fee schedule revisions. Okay, this would also be effective, well, technically January 2nd, because we're not open January 1st, but I'm gonna ask Matt to explain the circumstances and,
this is just a direct result of our rising costs with everything to do with disposal. For instance, tires, we were paying $900 every time we would dispose of a container. I was notified a couple months ago that no longer will it be $900. It went from $900 to $1,750. That's talk about big jumps.
Really?
It's a pretty big jump.
Really?
Yeah, and of course, we're in the middle of a budget year, so we got to eat that and plan appropriately going forward. But all the rest of it, is based on our bulk rate. Mostly MSW was still in the contract, but basically in our bulk rate disposal fees, and that's pretty much all we went up on.
okay, just for the public, if you can run through them, or you want me to do that?
Go ahead, if you don't mind.
Sofas and love seats didn't go up, is that right?
No, I kept that one
Okay,
the
that
same.
remains at 65. Kitchen chair went from $12 to $15. Chair like a recliner from $40 to $45. Sleep sofa or sectional from $75 to $100. Carpet, $35, $30 to $35. All size mattresses that do not qualify for recycling went from $75 to $85. If they can be recycled, it's a $25 fee. That hasn't changed. All size box springs that don't qualify went from $75 to $85. A table went from $30 to $35. Toilet from $15 to $20. Sink $15 to $20. If it's attached to a cabinet, $30 to $35. That's under furniture. Under bulky waste, a car trunk load stayed the same. A pickup half load went from $70 to $75. Pickup full load went from $120 to $140. Dump stake body truck up to half a load from $95 to $100. brought it same full load from 165 to 185. A non-commercial trailer up to a half load, 110, and a full load, 185. Went from 165 to 185. TV monitor under 30 inches went from 25 to 35. Bigger TVs didn't go up. Tires, we just talked about that. Car tire, up to a car tire size, went from 10 to 15. Small truck tires, 15 to 20. Large truck tires, 20 to 25. And industrial tractor tires, 25 to 30. I'm not sure how we're going to cover the cost if it cost is doubled and we're not doubling our fees, but we can. We're
Yeah,
trying to balance.
the tires and the mattresses, we're still kind of taking it on the chin. So, because depending what facility we use, and we have a mattress that doesn't qualify for recycling, it can be upwards of $100 for our fee, our cost.
And it's a balancing act because we don't want them thrown in the woods. So trying to keep the cost reasonable, but.
Team Cow thanks you.
Yeah.
Team Cow will thank us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so any questions for Matt on any of these or any concerns?
Nope.
If not, I would take a motion to approve the revised transfer station and recycling center fee schedule. Just as a reminder, we're not going up on punch cards, we're not going up on stickers this year. We probably will, or at least not January 1st, but we may have to revisit those in the near future.
We'll take a look at the fourth quarter numbers and we'll talk, and see where we're at.
Okay.
So I move that we approve the transfer station fee changes in the fees.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the new fee schedule for the transfer station and recycling center. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Board member updates.
Just the Shorelines was published last week. Our health notes column.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I got to email all of them, doing a version of that for the other communities in the collaborative because some of the resources were already on the collaborative website, so I'm going to pursue that.
Well, this might only interest, to Matt, so, which is just that so there was a meeting that I think the planning board scheduled around the harbor water supply. And it went on for a while, but I think the gist of it was that they have their source established now. And what was interesting about it was I had thought that they were going to need to drill into the bedrock. And there had been a study about where it was that they could locate the source for this. And instead, what their director, whatever the person who's in charge of it is called, is that they excavated this large trench and did not go down very, very deeply, because it turned out that there was a lot of superficial groundwater and then they lined this trench and essentially created their own little aquifer. And so, anyway, so that's what they're doing, and they're moving through the DEP process. And I guess the second part of it, because it's been an interest of the planning board, because there is another private well operator who's consistently had problems with water quality and facing the potential to have to establish their new service lines, and the planning board was interested in having those two projects combined. So you would have one service line going down River Road rather than two service lines, which might be put in at separate times. But the harbor folks, just don't believe that's at all feasible economically and for other reasons. And so, and that was another issue that was out there. So I don't think that the planning board has raised the issue about whether or not the private well operation really meets the criteria for public wells. But in previous conversations with Matt, it's like, well, we regulate private wells, we don't really investigate to see if they're public wells. It's not really our jurisdiction, it's really DEP's jurisdiction. I think DEP, for whatever reason, is not pressing the issue. So, at least as I left the meeting feeling that that's just going to be status quo. But it's good that the other project, went forward successfully, and so that's that.
Just wanted to say, thanks for the update on that. It is of interest. And also, the Hazard Mitigation Committee is presenting to the Select Board on the 15th, from what I hear.
Yeah.
So part of that presentation, they're going to cover the Code Red emergency alert callback system.
Yeah.
So I hope that goes well. I mean, it's, the fee for that is $4,000 a year and then it's 3 separate years, and it increases 5% a year. I think it's a critical system that we need in town to alert people, whether it be extreme heat, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever the case may be, alert the residents. And if you need anything to assist with that presentation, I can forward it to you.
Yeah, that would be good to do. I mean, so I'd ask the committee members to attend the meeting, just to support the presentation. So I intended to attend, and we had talked a little bit about the Code Red before. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, this is something I learned recently, but they cover 70% of cities and towns in the state. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's working for 70% of people.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole outreach part is an important part of all the other planning activities that kind of, or next steps activities that are going on with that committee, and also the Climate Resilience Committee. So.
Okay, one thing I just wanted to raise, it's not, I guess I'll call it a board member update, is that I have an update on my schedule, and I'm not going to be available on December 22nd for a board meeting, just, the week of Christmas. So I don't know how folks are feeling, but I would be open to, if you two want to continue, go ahead and have that meeting, that's fine, or if we want to cancel it, we should plan to make that, either put it on the agenda for the next meeting formally if we have to, or can we just cancel it now?
I think you'd be okay to do. I think you'd be okay to do it now.
Okay, if that's, it's up to you.
I'm fine with canceling the meeting during Christmas week.
Sure, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was just going to say,
So our next meeting would then, after, we have our meeting on December 8th, and then the meeting after that would be January 5th.
Unless something big comes up.
Unless we need to,
meet,
yeah.
Then I would say let's meet, but.
Okay.
And Matt will let us know if we have to, if something's
Yeah.
come up and we have to meet.
Yep.
well, that was helpful, because kind of illuminated, because I saw this as potential conflict with going to the select board meeting and then having it, because the select board meeting is also on the 15th or something.
The select meeting's on the 15th,
Yeah,
the
our
meeting,
next meeting is on the 8th.
our next meeting's on the 8th.
Right, right.
And then the meeting after that would have been on the 22nd, so no, it
Okay,
shouldn't have been any
okay,
conflict,
okay,
yeah.
good, okay.
Okay.
So do we need to vote on it, about the
Yes,
meeting?
we do, I suppose, to be formal. I take a motion to cancel the December 22nd, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. And do we have any other unanticipated anticipated or topics for the next regular meeting?
I can't think of any.
We already have, I think we have 4 appointments already booked for the next
Do we?
meeting, so yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then I would allow Donna to do her magic.
Yeah. So, being no further business, I move that we adjourn this meeting at 4:47 PM.
Second,
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you.